Hi everyone, I'm Nathan from the ebookreader.com. For this review, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys an in-depth look at the Kobo Aura HD. This is the latest ebook reader from Kobo, and it's got a unique screen size. It's the only ebook reader so far that has a 6.8-inch screen. It's also got really high resolution. You got 1440 by 1080, so it's one of the highest resolution ebook readers you can get on the market. And it also has the built-in front light like Kobo's Kobo Glow ebook reader. So here it is compared to the Kobo Mini, just to get an idea of the screen size. And it's actually, the screen on the Kobo Aura HD is actually a little bit bigger than the entire Kobo Mini. And here it is next to the Kobo Glow to get an idea of the screen size. There's not a whole lot of difference when it comes to comparing it to a 6-inch e-reader. I mean, it's just a little bit bigger. We've got like a half-inch taller and probably about 3/8 of an inch wider. I haven't measured it just yet, but I'll include the numbers in the written review. So, like I said, it's got the unique screen size. It's got the high-definition screen. That's definitely the strongest point of the Kobo e-reader. I really do like the screen. It looks great. We've got the front light. It's very evenly lit. I would almost say it might even be a touch more evenly lit than the Kobo Glow, which I thought was the best front lit ebook reader I had tried. So with the front light, it has a button up here. We've got you can turn it on and off. If you don't want the light on, you can turn it off. Of course, I've got some bright lights on here, so you can't tell the difference a whole lot. Later in the review, I'll shut off the lights and give you a closer look at it at night. Up here we've got the power slider, so it's got the red accent. As you can tell, it's got this contoured back, so it's quite a bit thicker than any other ebook readers. I mean, here it is with the compared to the Mini, so I mean, with that contoured back, it does add some thickness to it. We've also got the micro SD card slot here and the USB port. But what I was saying with that contoured back, I've heard a lot of people liking it because it sort of fits their hands. Like this when you hold it. My fingers are super long, so for me it doesn't feel very comfortable at all to hold from the side because my fingers overlap past that indentation. So for me it's really not that comfortable holding from the sides, but it is quite comfortable holding it from the bottom is what I usually hold it. But it sort of just depends on your individual taste on that. So as far as the screen goes, like I said, it's the high resolution screen. I really love the screen. It absolutely looks great with the front light on and with it off. Like I said, I'll go ahead and turn this light off here in a little while and give you an idea what it looks like in the dark. But let me go ahead and walk you through the features so far, and let me show you exactly what we've got. So for the most part, all the Kobo's e-readers share the same sort of software. The Kobo Aura HD has a few different tweaks than the Kobo Glow. So like the home screen right here, it's got a new home screen layout with additional screen real estate. We've got these whole new sort of layout. So with the Kobo Glow, it's just sort of like a I'll do a comparison with the Kobo Glow later just to get an idea of all the differences, but just as far as the home screen goes, like the Kobo just shows a couple of your latest read books. On here it shows everything. We've got the latest, everything you've interacted with as far as the device goes. So like the web browser, there's chess, there's a video game for chess. It'll show your awards on the home screen, and then you can like show shelves on the home screen. I got a shelf right there. As you can also see, it'll tell you how much longer you've got to go to read, percentage read of the book, and it'll tell you how many highlights you've got in the book. So I kind of like this new home screen. It's definitely sort of puts everything right here. We've also got like recommended. Say you don't want this recommended thing showing, you can just long press and then you can dismiss it so that you can sort of keep control of what's displayed here on the home screen. So other aspects of the home screen, we can just jump to our different library sections for like books, newspapers, magazines, and then our shelves. In the sections, when you're viewing a list like this, you can go ahead and view it with a list. With a picture, you can actually get rid of the cover if you just want to see just a list with the titles. And we've also got cover view, so if you want to switch over to cover view, you can just view by covers instead of having the list. So we've got some different options as far as that goes. You can choose to download all your titles from here, your Kobo titles, and archive them, which will put them in the cloud and free up space on your device. So as far as the other features, we've just got a link to our bookstore, and Reading Life is sort of the awards and stuff like that keeps track of your reading progress and your reading awards for it's kind of a unique thing for Kobo. So as far as the front light goes, you can always jump up here, hit the settings. This is your settings menu, quick settings menu. You can go ahead and adjust the brightness right here if you want to turn it up or down. We've got a little slider. So up here in the settings menu, let me go ahead and show you what we've got in the settings menu. The Kobo Aura HD comes with some more extras than the Kobo Glow has. We've got a few different games in here. We've got chess, solitaire, word scramble. There's also the sketchpad and web browser like before. The web browser is pretty basic, but it works well for like downloading ebooks from free book websites, that kind of thing. So some of the other stuff we have in here, we got the Reading Life, like I said. You can go in here and set that up. We've got the reading settings, so you can set up which parts of the screen you want to tap to turn pages, and it also has this custom page refresh. I usually like always keeping it one page personally, just because it minimizes ghosting, which is like when you turn a page, you won't see like remnants of the old page. Sometimes when you have partial page refresh enabled, you will see remnants of the old pages, so we can also uncheck to show page numbers in the margin. Okay, so Kobo's e-readers are sold all over the world. We've got some different options in here for language. You can come in here and set it to any one of these options, and there's also the dictionaries in here. You can go ahead and see it comes with a select few here, like 6 of them, and you can come in and install some others if you want. There's a whole bunch in here, some translation dictionaries and regular dictionaries, so for different languages. Some of the other options in the settings list include date and time. So earlier in the month I had some issues with my Kobo e-readers, and when I first got this I couldn't get it to recognize my account with any of my ebooks for some reason. My Kobo Glow was really super glitchy, things were going crazy with it, and it was all because I had the wrong dates. For some reason the date got messed up in here, and one thing with Kobo e-readers is if your date gets messed up in here, the device is going to start going haywire. So that's one thing. If you ever have any issues, go in and make sure the date is set to what it is supposed to be, because mine was set for 2012 for some reason and it just made everything not work. Oh yeah, I already showed you the language section. We've also got the light, sleep, and power settings in here, so we can turn off the light automatically after a set number of minutes. So we've got the between 5 and 60 minutes or never, and you've also got the sleep mode we can set off in here, so we can have the automatic shut off. And there's also the sleep cover you can buy for this device. It's got like a magnet that detects when the screen or the cover's closed, and you can turn it on and off that way. And this is just for the screensaver, which ironically has full screen view, but the books don't. So that's something I'm going to talk about shortly. Let's go ahead and talk about it now, in fact. So as far as the screen goes, like I said, I really love the screen on this device. It's very clear, and the fact that you can add your own fonts in here. This is a font that I added, and it looks great. As a post I did earlier, if you want to find this font, I've got a link to it on my blog, the Charles Modified font. I really like this font on the Kobo, and it looks really nice. The only thing I don't like about the Kobo e-readers is just the fact that there's so much wasted space on the screen. So we get this bigger screened ebook reader with all this extra screen real estate, but just like Kobo's other readers, we've got all this wasted space at the bottom, got all this wasted space at the top. So the top, it always wants to tell you the title. So we're in the Last of the Mohicans book right now, and it'll tell us that on every single page, and we've got the page numbers down here. So obviously we're losing a lot of real estate right there. And like I've said in past reviews, Kobo's ebooks always tend to have spaces between paragraphs instead of indented paragraphs, so we're losing more space there. So that's definitely the one thing that I do not like about this device. I really like the screen, but as far as the software, it does hold you back somewhat as far as formatting, and the formatting isn't very consistent. So let me show you something that really irks me here. So we've got all these different font sizes, and like I said, this is a custom font size that I added here, or a custom font. You can just add these into a font folder on the Kobo e-readers. It's really easy. But if we go ahead and switch to one of these preloaded fonts, Kobo Nickel for example, the whole thing with the bottom gets way worse. It seems to be dependent on certain fonts. Some fonts make it way worse. See, look how much wasted space we're getting here. It's just ridiculous. And then we come to this one. And this, you would think maybe it's the end of a chapter. Well, it's not, because we're page 3 of 14. It just has problems with paragraphs, like breaking them into smaller sections at the end of a page. It's beyond ridiculous. I could not read a book like this with that kind of spacing. It's just, it drives me nuts. Luckily it doesn't do that with all the fonts. Like I said, I've got this font here, and then as you can see, it's just a completely different layout. That's sort of the thing with Kobo. You never really know exactly what you're going to get formatting wise. Whereas something with the Kindle, you know, I mean, it's pretty much 95% the same, where you're going to have indented paragraphs and you're going to have text full screen. Speaking of Kindle, I'll do a comparison with the Paperwhite shortly so that you guys can see exactly what I mean. But like I said, so I mean, look at what the difference just with that different font. I mean, it's like totally night and day as far as what amount of space is wasted on the screen. So there are some tweaks, there are some bugs with Kobo as far as I'm concerned with the whole layout of books, and that's the biggest negative that I can say about these devices. I mean, the same goes for the Kobo Mini and the Kobo Glow, because they all sort of have the same basic kind of software, the same sort of layout. Okay, so this is something I compared. So I bought this book a long time ago from Kobo, and like I said, it has the spaces between paragraphs, and if I'm using this font, it doesn't have all that crazy wasted space at the bottom, which is nice, but I still would rather have like more font on the screen. So I went ahead and converted this book with Calibre just to get an idea of what it would look like, and let me go ahead and show you what the converted version looks like. So when you have side-loaded EPUBs on the Kobo, it will format them differently because side-loaded EPUBs are use a different rendering engine than Kobo EPUBs. So there's essentially two different formats for EPUBs. But when you sideload your EPUBs, it'll use different, the font for some reason is different. I don't understand why the font looks so different. So that's the same font as I had before, but it's not that font. It's definitely different. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. So another thing with side-loaded EPUBs, a lot of times you can't get the font to change or the line spacing won't work, so it's sort of hit or miss when it comes to that. But like I said, this is that same book, so I got rid of the spaces between paragraphs, which I like, so that it's got the indented paragraphs, so you can sort of set that up with Calibre, but I still get like the huge wasted space at the bottom, just even with this particular font, it doesn't really seem to matter. One thing that I've heard, this is running firmware 2.5.1, so apparently there's a new firmware out for this. Whenever I hit sync, it doesn't download it, but it's supposed to be 2.5.2, and what that firmware, one of the things that it does is it's supposed to add that title bar on side-loaded EPUBs. So like this particular book would have that title bar saying up there what the title of the book is, so it'd be wasting the top space again. So you used to be with side-loaded EPUBs, you could at least have the top space maximized, but apparently they're changing that now too. I haven't got that update to confirm yet, but that's what everyone over at MobileRead is saying, is that you're getting the title bar on side-loaded EPUBs now too, so it's just a lot of space is getting wasted there. Okay, so now that I've gone through all my major complaints with the device as far as the formatting goes, let me go ahead and just show you basically what the features are. So we've got this little doodad down here that pops up your how long it's going to take you. It estimates how long it's going to take you to read the chapter of the book. It's probably going to take me longer than that because I've just been switching pages fast just to show you guys what it looks like here. But as far as the other features, we've got this little page dial right here. You can sort of just jump around to different pages, and we can also just skip chapters right here with the double arrowed button. Another way to navigate, we've got the table of contents. So if we pop up the table of contents, it'll give us a list, and we can scroll through it this way. And then, like I was saying, we got all the different font sizes and the different font line spacing and margins. So with Kobo ebooks like this one, these work really well, these different font settings. One thing that it does get kind of weird is that it's kind of slow to react. Sometimes I think the device is frozen up when it's trying to change to the font size, but it just takes it a few seconds. So we've got all these different font sizes. As you can see, if you got bad eyesight, this kind of stuff works well. Obviously the bigger screen e-reader, you can get more text on the screen, so definitely something to consider. If you have poorer eyesight, it's something better than the smaller e-readers, just because you can get more font on the screen. And like I was saying, with this super high resolution screen, we get some really nice looking sharp text. I'm going to go ahead and try to zoom in on this. I don't know if it's going to work. Sometimes the camera doesn't work very well for showing close-ups, but I'm going to give it a try here. Okay, so it doesn't want to just focus when I do the close-up, so let's just go ahead and move on to some of the other features. So if we're using one of the Kobo fonts, you don't have the option with side-loaded fonts, but let's go over here and switch to, say, Georgia, which is one of the Kobo fonts. We can go in and hit the advanced font menu, and then we can go ahead and customize the sharpness and the weight of the font. We can make it a lot bolder if you want, just to get the text darker. So there's sort of a before and after right here showing it. You can really see the darkness difference. So if we apply that, then we can go ahead and get a darker font on our book. One of the downsides is it does kind of make them a little rougher, but it just sort of depends on how much you fine-tune it right there. We can go ahead and get it exactly how you want. So that actually looks really good. I mean, the text is really nice and dark. I can't say enough about the screen. It actually absolutely looks great. I hope other ebook readers definitely start using this screen, because I really do like it. Like, it's just very clear and very, I do like the screen size too. The larger screen size is kind of nice. So I hope the Kindle and the Sonys and the other ebook readers of the world start putting out e-readers with this larger screen size as well. So the Kobo e-readers have the usual on-screen features. If you hold down, you can bring up the little highlight option. I have a little bit of trouble getting it to go where I want it sometimes, so let's stop it here at the end of this paragraph. Actually, that worked pretty well. Sometimes it wants to skip to the next one, but as you can see, it removed this one, so I have to get this one back. It's not the most smoothest thing in the world. It's kind of hard to get to the very end of a word sometimes, but it actually it does work. We've got the notes and highlight option, so if we just wanted to add a note to that, we could pop up the on-screen keyboard. And we've also got the dictionary. So obviously the little dictionary will pop up whenever you get the option. We can go in here and hit the translation dictionary. You can change your dictionaries, obviously. So we've got the Facebook integration. You can add your Facebook account to your Kobo and then post highlights and reading status on Facebook. If we want to go ahead and run a search, you just hit that search like I had that word highlighted, so then we can run the search on the bookstore and the library. So as you can see, we added that note to that book, so now it shows the little note option on our home screen here, and the little highlight is the other option. It's kind of cool that it does show those extra features on here, and like I said, we get the recommended titles sometimes. We got this related to titles. If you don't want that stuff, you can just dismiss it and it will go away. Of course, it will come back at some point. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what the screen looks like in the dark. The thing with the camera is that it automatically adjusts, so it's going to be kind of hard to get an idea of what exactly the screen looks like. But here we go. Let me go ahead and open up an ebook here, and then we can do some different settings. Get a little bit bigger font here so that we can see it better. We can hit the little brightness indicator right now. I think we got about 77%. So we got the little dial here, that's full brightness. Here, I'll turn on an ebook reader without a light just so you can get an idea what it looks like by comparison. So here's the Kobo Glow next to it without the light on, so obviously it's super dark in here. Oops, I hit battery instead of light. Let's go ahead and hit the light back on here and readjust it to the minimum 1%. So I find the minimum brightness is actually quite nice on this device. It's not too bright for reading at night when all the lights are off. It's just about right. I do like it. So as far as the light goes, like I said, it's very even. Like the Kindle Paperwhite has some problems with discoloration. Now this device does have a little bit of discoloration towards the top. It's just a little hair yellower. You really can't notice it though. Towards the top here, it's a little hair yellower than it is at the bottom. It's a little bit whiter. I don't really notice that on my Glow, but as far as reading goes, I don't notice it. It doesn't bother me like the Kindle Paperwhite's discoloration does, because it's a lot more subtle. So that's about half brightness. Like I said, we've got the different things here. The camera's going to adjust, so I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of difference between these, but like you can obviously set the brightness to whatever you like. I usually like it about 17% area, 25%, and that adds just enough brightness to the screen to make it look good. And it even looks good when you have the light on, because it adds just a little bit more white tone to the background of the screen, which is a little bit more evident when you have the brightness up with the light on. So as you can see here with the Kobo Glow with the light off, you can definitely tell that the screen is wider when you have the front light on than when it is off, even when you have a good light source on it. Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this initial review right here. Check out the ebookreader.com for the full written review, more details. I'm also going to be posting some more videos, like I'm going to be comparing this with the Kobo Glow just to get an idea of all the different features. And I'm also going to be comparing it with the Kindle Paperwhite just to give you an idea of the front light differences and the Kindle features differences. So check out that, and I'm also going to be posting some other additional follow-up reviews. So if you didn't find what you wanted in here, check out the next review I'm going to be posting